governance in Gaza. Spain, Denmark, United Kingdom, Germany, Norway, Finland, Italy, the Netherlands, France, Japan, Switzerland, Sweden, Belgium, and World Bank have already joined this initiative, and more partners are expected to follow, for example, Australia. Also, Ireland will join. Also, Canada will join. As you know, during my recent visit to Israel, we agreed to move forward on 2 early recovery projects focusing on water and solid waste management that will be implemented by trusted partners. This shows that practical cooperation is possible, and we must build on it. We know, of course, we need conditions that allow this support to reach the people of Gaza. This means full implementation of the ceasefire and respect for all obligations, Hamas laying down arms, safe and predictable access, effective coordination with Israel and the Palestinian Authority, and of course continued progress on implementing UN Security Council Resolution 2803. Today we have another success story to tell. We demonstrated that the international community stands ready to support the Palestinian Authority reforms and also advance Gaza's early recovery. So thank you very much for all you have been doing. And
thank you. Thank you, Commissioner, and good afternoon, and thank you all for being here today. And Commissioner Suika, you deserve a lot of credit and gratitude for the leadership, the steadfast support and continued commitment to Palestine, the Palestinian people, our people in West Bank as well as in Gaza. And today's Palestine Donor Group meeting marked a very important opportunity to engage with our partners at a critical period of time for Palestine and for the Middle East region as a whole. We shared with our partners a comprehensive briefing on the grave challenges confronting our people as a result of the Israeli aggression on the Gaza Strip and the relentless and systemic attacks against our people in the West Bank. We also presented a substantial progress achieved by the Palestinian government in advancing our comprehensive institutional reform agenda. This national-driven process reflects our unwavering commitment to strengthening our governance and preparing our institution for full realization of the state of Palestine on the ground. Despite extraordinary challenges, our reform program continues to deliver tangible results. Implementation of the reform matrix has exceeded expectations across 4 strategic pillars encompassing 53 reform milestones. This is a clear demonstration of our government's determination to deliver meaningful reforms, even under exceptionally difficult circumstances. At the same time, we underscored to our partners in this meeting the severity of the financial and economic situation facing Palestine, Israel's continued violations of international law, and its obligations under existing agreements, including the ongoing withholding of Palestinian clearance revenues, which continues to undermine the government's ability to provide essential public services. Our discussions also reaffirmed the urgent necessity of advancing a comprehensive recovery program leading to the full reconstruction of the war-ravaged Gaza Strip. Our people should not be left without progress on recovery. In this regard, I would like also to extend our gratitude and appreciation for the European Commission announcement today of the Team Europe Plus initiative, which will provide significant resources to start the early recovery process in Gaza. This is just the beginning. Obviously, much more is needed, but also change on the ground in terms of security situation, withdrawal of Israeli forces, but also opening all border crossings is critical to move things forward. So hopefully all these efforts will help us all reunify Gaza with the West Bank, relaunch our national reunification efforts, and build the unified institutions for unified Palestine under its legitimate leadership. At the end, I would like to again thank the European Union for the support, also the other partners and donors who have attended to this meeting for their continuing support, and we hope that this will be more than double given the emergency situation that we are facing. And thank you again, Commissioner Suika, for your commitment and leadership.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Thank you, Commissioner. Now we'll move to the questions. We'll try to take a few questions here in the room. As always, I will ask you to introduce yourself and the media outlet you work for, and you need to come to the front and use the mics. We'll take a first question here, Vincenzo.
Good evening, Vincenzo Genovese from Euronews. A question to Commissioner Suica. We know that Jared Kushner joined the call today. I would like to know what did he say and how did he frame the cooperation between the Board of Peace and the Palestinian donor group. And to Mr. Prime Minister, how do you see this cooperation actively on the ground in Palestine, and if you trust the Board of Peace in its mission of reconstruction of Gaza? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this question. We said, if you were listening carefully, we said only collective effort can help rebuild Gaza, and this is what we are trying to inaugurate. We are trying to have everybody on board, and this is why we started this Team Gaza initiative. It's not only European Commission, it's not only European 27, it's also international community, and of course Board of Peace. As you know, we have President Trump's plan, so we would like to move forward, and this is to push also them, to work on the second stage of this agreement. So what he said, he also wants to work with us, and it's not only him, it was also Nikolai Mladenov, who is High Representative, it was also Dr. Leshat, who is chairing this NCAG committee, and there was also senior advisor to Board of Peace, Lightstone. So we wanted also to have all of them on board, because we see that we have to work together. But it was our initiative. We would like to, of course, to lead if possible. We showed by example with this 900 million euro, wanted to show that things can move if there is political will, and if there is will, and there is, I think all of us have moral obligation and responsibility to start this. And since I'm in charge of this Palestine donor group, I wanted to do something which is substantial. Of course, there were two parts of this meeting. One is to show that reforms are progressing, and Palestine Authority is progressing on its reform agenda. But another strand of this meeting today, since we have titled Palestine Donor Group, we wanted to start pledging also money for early recovery. Of course, we know that the conditions are not met for complete recovery. We have a rapid assessment, which is 70 billion euro. Knowing this rapid assessment done by World Bank and by us Commission, we know that conditions are not met, but conditions could be met for early recovery, and this is why my mission to Israel was also fruitful, because I somehow tried to do something, and they were willing to start with 2 projects on waste management and water. So let's hope that these projects will start being concrete, and this is why we invited also Kushner, and good that he accepted. I cannot say more on this.
Yes, no, thank you. Well, I think, as you all know, the United Nations Security Council resolution has 20 points, and it starts with a ceasefire, goes on to recovery and reconstruction, and ends with the need for the Palestinian Authority to integrate Gaza with the West Bank under the Palestinian state and the self-determination for Palestinians. This is more or less the process we are looking forward to. Obviously, the process is still at the early stage, although more than 6 or 7 months have passed, but it's really at the early stage. The ceasefire is still fragile. There's little in terms of opening the border crossings. There's little in terms of humanitarian assistance. There's almost nothing in terms of reconstruction. Very little in terms of security situation. So there is a lot still to be done. Therefore, as the Commissioner said, we really need everybody's support and everybody's effort. Countries, institutions, financial institutions, NGOs, international NGOs, we need everybody's effort because the responsibility is so huge. But to be honest with you, not much will happen until Israeli withdrawal from Palestinian areas. If that doesn't happen, the problem will remain. And even if the money is there, not much will progress. We have seen this thing before in many times, and I was personally involved in recovery in 2014 during the last war, and unfortunately things didn't move forward because of the Israeli siege on Gaza, which continues until this day. So we hope that the international effort, the Board of Peace, the European Union, and all member countries, of course the United Nations and the United States, make extra effort and treat this as an usual emergency case, not just business as usual. People are dying every single day. People are being deprived from normal life, from appropriate health services, from appropriate education services, from appropriate protection for the families and the children and the women. So I think there's a huge responsibility, and obviously from our perspective as a Palestinian government, we're doing our part in terms of continuing to provide basic services until today, including education and health. I'm glad, for example, to report that more than 40,000 Palestinians from Gaza has taken the high school diploma exam, Tawjihi, last week. This is phenomenal. It shows the unity of Palestinians around our national system, including the education system. I'm glad that these kids were able to take the exam. As a matter of fact, over the last 3 years, 104,000 Palestinian students took this high school diploma exam under this very difficult situation. So we're doing the best we can. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's clearly not enough. But we need the world to really wake up and do something more dramatic than what we have seen so far.
Thank you. We'll take it. Sorry.
Okay.
You want to add? Sorry.
Okay,
Please.
no.
Question, sir.
خير يعطيكم العافية. خالد تاي من وكالة الأنباء والمعلومات الفلسطينية وفاء. سؤالي موجه من الإعلام الرسمي. هل استطاعت الحكومة إقناع المانحين بضرورة رفع المبلغ المباشر للخزينة مع إعطاء حرية التصرف في إنفاقه؟ وهل هناك أي مستجدات بخصوص الإفراج عن أموال المقاصة المحتجزة؟ شكرا.
اوكي شكرا جزيلا خالد. بالنسبة لرفع الدعم، الحقيقة اليوم ما كان المكان المناسب لرفع الدعم، كان مراجعة للتقدم اللي صار في المرحلة اللي فاتت. صدفت أنه مجموعة من الدول الصديقة نتيجة شعورهم بالمسؤولية وصعوبة الوضع تبرعوا مبالغ نسبيا بسيطة، زي ما حكت الكوميشنر حوالي 31 مليون دولار إضافية، يعني مصاري بس، يعني مش محرزين كثير. بس المهم انه العلاقه مستمره مع الاتحاد الاوروبي. دول الاتحاد الاوروبي كلهم اللي شفناهم اليوم حاسين بخطوره الوضع وحاسين باهميه انه يدعموا صمود الشعب الفلسطيني وتمكين الحكومه الفلسطينيه من الاستمرار، خاصه في دول الانجازات الكبيره اللي استطعنا ان نحرزها بالرغم من الوضع في غزة، الوضع في القدس، الوضع المالي، الوضع العدوان الاستيطاني اللي عم بيصير كل يوم على القرى والمخيمات وعلى كل مكان. ومع ذلك بنحاول نقدم خدمات بنسبة درجة معقولة، بنحاول نحمي شعبنا قدر المعقول، وبنحاول أيضا نحافظ على استمرار الخدمات. فالوضع مش سهل، لكن إن شاء الله أنه يعني هذا التعاون وهذه الشراكة بيننا وبين العالم ستثمر بالتأكيد في نجاح سياسي وأيضا نجاح اقتصادي ومالي. لكن إحنا سعيدين أيضا بأن نركز أيضا اليوم أنه كان في تركيز على موضوع غزة، لأنه كمان قد ما إحنا مهتمين في موضوع الوضع في الضفة الغربية وهو فعلا في غاية الخطورة، لكن أهلنا في غزة يعانون من وضع أصعب وأسوأ بصراحة. لذلك أنه الاتحاد الأوروبي عمل هاي المبادرة وصار في دعم جيد لها، يعني $1 مليار كمرحلة أولى للإيرلي ريكفري، بداية كويسة، لأنه الوضع لا يمكن أن يستمر بهذه الطريقة. فإحنا بالنسبة للدعم المالي مهم، لكن أيضا الدعم السياسي مهم. إحنا بس لو يدعمونا سياسيا إنه يطلقوا سراح أموالنا ويفتحوا القيود اللي علينا، إحنا بنعتمد على ذاتنا، ما عندنا مشكلة، ساعتها ما بنحتاج مساعدات خارجية. لكن هذا هو الواقع، إن شاء الله هذا الواقع سيتغير، وإحنا واثقين إن شاء الله أن القادم أفضل لشعبنا بالتأكيد.
If I may add to this question, of course, we will use implementing partners like UN agencies for this, UNDP, UNICEF, to implement this money. On West Bank, we have a program which is €1.6 billion for these 2 years. So this is a program which we have. So this is not business as usual, but we are trying to do our best. And for this Team Gaza initiative, we would like to brand it as our project, and this is our Board of Peace. Okay.
Thank you. We'll take an additional question here. Gentleman here.
I would ask in Arabic. في غزة أكبر تحدي الآن ونحن مجتمعون هنا في بروكسل هو البحث عن الحطب، والتحدي الأصعب من البحث عن الحطب من أجل الطهو هو البحث عن ما يشعل الحطب. لا توجد ولاعات في غزة، لذا نحن نتحدث عن أزمة إنسانية ضخمة وكبيرة، ونحن نتحدث عن تحويل $1 مليار عبر الشركاء. غزة لا تنتظر، غزة الموضوع الإنساني فيها عاجل جدا، ونحن هنا نتساءل كصحفيين كيف يمكن لكم كاتحاد أوروبي تحويل هذه الأموال في ظل أن غزة لا توجد فيها السلطة الوطنية وفيها مجلس سلام أنتم لستم جزءا فيه، وهناك ضبابية في التعامل المالي أو تحويل الأموال إلى غزة.
To be open, the key problem is access to Gaza, which is not yet granted to this NCAG committee. They still sit in Cairo. And this, 10 days ago, I met with Dr. Ashad in Cairo. They should be in Gaza. This is key problem. Regarding money, I told you we will use implementing partners on the ground. They are already on the ground, UN agencies and some others. So this is the way how we will implement this. And the third, I mentioned 2 projects. One is on waste management, one is on water. Maybe the third is to come, talking about lighters, cooking, and so on. So this is all about that. I cannot now direct this to what you said, but you use this example. So it will be transparent, it will be completely clear, and nothing will be hidden. So this money deserves to be used in the most transparent way. I want to add something, talking about NCAG and what we heard from Dr. Schatt again today. They are not competing with the Palestine Authority. Palestine Authority will, once they will, we hope, accede Gaza. At the moment, they are transition government. They are not competing with them. They are only bridge, and they are used for this transition period. This is very important. But in order to achieve all this, we need first Hamas to lay down the arms, and second, to Israel to withdraw from Gaza. There are 2 issues which are still, which are preconditioned to have this. All of us know this, but we are trying with small steps to do something to show the world that we are here, that we support, and this is why international community is very important. And this day today is very important, although it might seem since we need 70 billion, we have only 1 billion today. But this is also something to show that we support Palestinian people, both in West Bank and in Gaza. And let's hope for the best. So we have to do. Although we know that ceasefire is fragile, we know what's going on. But at the same time, we have to work in parallel. We cannot wait for the situation to be normalized, because we need to help people. Winter is coming, and I understand your symbolic question. Thank you.
Yeah. أنا بس متعاطف مع كلامك، وصحيح إنه فعلا يعني هذا مش وضع يعني حتى الأشياء الأساسية للحياة الآن صارت معدومة وغير متوفرة. طبعا ما بنقدر نلوم المانحين على هذا الوضع، المانحين يقدموا شيء وإحنا بنشكرهم عليه، سواء كان موضوع إنساني أو موضوع تعافي أو موضوع إعادة الأعمار، هذا شيء يقدر عليه. لكن صراحة اللوم يجب أن يوجه لمن يقوم بهذه الأعمال ويمنع دخول المواد، ويمنع دخول الوقود، ويمنع دخول الأدوية، ويمنع دخول السكن المؤقت المناسب للناس لسه عايشين في خيام تحت المطر أحيانا وتحت الشوب أحيانا أخرى. هذا الاحتلال أسبابه. خلينا نوجه إصبعنا بشكل واضح للاحتلال الذي خلق هذا الوضع. أما المانحين فيجب أن نشكرهم على ما يقدمون، نشجعهم أن يقدموا أكثر ويضغطوا أكثر، لكن اللوم في الأساس على دولة الاحتلال.
I think you will take one more question. Suniva, then we need to wrap up. Suniva, your mic.
Thank you very much. Suniva Rose from the National. My question for the Commissioner is actually about the options paper you presented today at the FAC on restricting trade with illegal Israeli settlements. I was wondering if you could tell us if there was a majority in favor, and specifically what was the debate like on QMV versus unanimity. Minister, you were here to discuss reforms of the PA, and one reform that is talked about a lot, at least on the US and Israeli side, is the Pay for Slay program. I was wondering, I understand there's an audit of a US firm that concluded recently, and the US asked you to publish it in its entirety. Will you be doing this? And there's also a parallel European audit of the same program. I was wondering if you could tell us more about it and how you understand, if there will be extra elements that will be brought compared to the US audit. If you could tell us about generally how this program is changing. Thank you very much.
Thank you for this question. As you know, the Commission today put forward to the European Union Foreign Affairs Ministers an options paper regarding the import of goods from Israeli settlements in the occupied Palestinian territory. This is in line with the request from the European Council from June, as you remember. So we had a very constructive exchange on views of the Commission's option paper, and on which next steps should be taken. So the paper raises different options on goods from settlements and also points to the different legal bases. There are two options. One is trade legal basis or common foreign and security policy legal basis. So there are two bases, two legal opinions, and two different options. So the Council has decided today that the ambassadors, which means COREPER, as you know, will take this further, and that they will prepare the next step. The next Foreign Affairs Council meeting is scheduled only for October. So therefore, our IHR VP, Kaja Kallas, proposed the possibility to set up an extraordinary video VTC meeting with the ministers sooner. So this could be also followed by a written procedure. In the meantime, we will obviously continue our efforts with regard to Gaza and with regard to the West Bank. So just to clarify once again, the Council has already taken restrictive measures against individuals and entities who are involved in facilitating illegal settlers' violence and violating human rights in the occupied territories. I want to underline once again that products from the settlements do not receive preferential treatment to the European Union market. They are currently under the least favorable import regime. And with regard to Gaza, as already mentioned, as I already said, we will start implementing this initiative. So just wanted to make you aware, we we offered this option paper, which was requested by the Council. There was discussion today. There was no conclusion on it, but the conclusion is to follow. Of course, it would be better if we could have unanimity on one or on another option, but at this moment this is not the case, and we need more discussion. We need to see. Some countries said we are still we are already, some have conclusions, some don't. It was a little bit mix of that, and we were not ready. They were not we, but we offered what we should, but they were not ready to have a final conclusion today.
Okay. Yes, on the reforms, we're very proud of our advancement in implementing our reform program. And the specific one you mentioned, which I don't like the name you used because it's not correct. But we call it, it's really a social care system that will provide for our families in need. And as you probably know, since you're following the subject, there was a Palestinian law 2024, which basically clarified the situation and put in place a clear regime for providing social care for our people in need. Now, we wanted to make sure that our partners also are comfortable with what was done, and that they will obviously see clearly that the implementation also is going according to the new law. And that's why the international auditor you mentioned was recruited to go over the process and conclude and come up with their recommendations on how the system is being implemented. And I'm very pleased to announce that the report was very positive and that the law has been implemented, and whatever payment is being made under the new law are in a very transparent way and according to the new law, and that they are based on actual needs. So hopefully this will close this chapter. This chapter, unfortunately, was used against Palestinian people and their struggle over the years in a very unfortunate way. But we're pleased that this is behind us now. I hope that everybody now move on in the occupation and what they do and what they are causing in suffering to our people, instead of what we do to support our families and our citizens.
Commissioner, Prime Minister, thank you very much. This concludes our press point. Have a nice evening.
شكرا يعطيكم العافية شباب. Thank you.